Hi, I'm Erica, a mom, wife, and caregiver. I have been through the highs and lows of having a child with a medically complex background and special needs, all caused by epilepsy. I'm here to let you know you're not alone. There are so many resources out there, and that you too can and will come out on the other side stronger and more resilient than you ever imagined. It's not always easy, but I'm here for you. Welcome to the Parenting Epilepsy and Special Needs podcast. Ketogenic diet on June 1st, 2026, and overall things started out going really well, but eventually took a turn. I stayed inpatient in the hospital with her for 4 days earlier in June as she began the diet. So I'll explain kind of how it went and then how we got to where we're at right now and our next steps. So staying inpatient was extremely helpful for multiple reasons. The keto team was able to monitor our daughter's blood sugar during the transition as well as her ketone levels. This was also a really good time for me to ask a lot of questions of the dietitian, especially as they adjusted her ratio each day during our stay, and then ultimately achieved her goal of a 3-to-1 ratio. So that being 3 grams of fat for every 1 gram of protein and carbs combined. Thankfully, at that time, she took a liking to the meals that were given to her. This gave us hope that we may have a chance at making this work. I'd say this time around, because we did try it when she was much younger and it didn't work out for us. I have also been working with her to stay hydrated, as she can mainly drink water or zero sugar flavored water right now. And then, of course, in addition to heavy whipping cream, I purchased a few smaller water bottles that show both milliliters and ounces measurements on the side so that I can easily track how much liquid she ingests each day. Some days she does great, others can be very challenging. Water is not her thing. She is a very big milk drinker. So this was a big transition. I try to add fun challenges or use if then scenarios or first then scenarios to encourage her to achieve her hydration goals. When we travel, say for a long weekend or to our other kids' sporting events, I plan ahead and make enough meals and snacks for our time away. And then I purchased a backpack cooler so it's easier to transport her food along with us. Unfortunately, she is still having seizures, but the doctor and the dietitian stated that it can take up to 3 months for the diet to work. On the positive side, we have noticed that she has more energy. She seems to have a bit more, how would I say this, like cognitive clarity in terms of when she speaks, and just has been asking more questions, which is really cool to see. Also, we don't eat out as much just because it's been easier that way. And quite honestly, since she cannot snack on foods high in carbs and sugar, I have been avoiding those foods as well. So that has been a win-win. The most difficult part for my husband and I has been the food prep. The food itself is easy to prep for the most part, but it takes a lot of thought, and each individual food has to be measured out, which takes some time and focus. Our daughter has been on the ketogenic diet for 8 weeks now at the time of when this is being recorded. And we, as of literally today, maybe even yesterday, it's been a long 24 hours, have decided to begin to wean her off of it. It was not an easy decision, but in the past few weeks, she has gotten to the point where she only takes a few bites of her meal and doesn't want to finish it. There were days where we sat at the dinner table with her for 2 to 3 hours trying to get her to finish her food. Needless to say, this is far from ideal, and after speaking with our dietitian at our children's hospital that we're working with, we agreed that it was time to begin titrating her back to her typical non-keto diet. It has been a very stressful few weeks navigating this season with her. But I am glad that we gave this diet another try. There can be a ton of trial and error on the path of managing seizures and looking for the ideal treatment. Some treatments or solutions might work for months or years, and others might not work at all, but you have to try different options in order to find what works best for your child. We have tried many different options when it comes to managing seizures, from numerous medications, multiple brain surgeries, to VNS or vagus nerve stimulation, to the keto diet. There are still other options out there, and I'm sure technology will continue to evolve. So we are staying optimistic that our daughter's answer to seizure, I don't say quite seizure freedom, but management of seizures, or at least reducing the cluster seizures or stopping the cluster seizures, or reducing the intensity or frequency of our seizures, would be the most ideal. And I believe that answer is out there. So, again, this was just a quick update. I know I did mention when we started this journey a couple months ago that I would update on how things were going. I'll admit I was hoping that it would work out for her, but I also know my child, and that there was always the possibility that we might be in this position. So, thank you for everyone who's been asking about her and how she's doing. And I'll keep you posted on how this next this next journey of figuring out what direction to go next. And it's a process, I think, is the best way to say it. So thank you again. And until next time, I will see you on the next episode.